All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemick, producer Nikki Earnshaw. And I know, Dave, you got to be torn a little bit. Being from this area, being an Eagles fan, but playing for the Chiefs and Dick Vermeil, and you got to be. What are you feeling right now?
I had a Randall Cunningham jersey growing up. Slept with it till I was probably 10 or 11 years old. I love the Eagles. But if I showed up at the parade and I was like, "We won! Yeah, we did it!" They're gonna go like this. Who are you? If I go to Kansas City, they're pulling me into the front office.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you what, Klemick, you're in kind of a similar predicament as Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, that's right. He said he's rooting for his brother.
He's rooting for his brother,
but he wouldn't be upset if the Eagles win.
Yeah, he wins both ways.
Yeah,
so
you can't lose.
You and Kelsey, Klemick and Kelsey, man.
Yeah,
even if you lose, you win. You can't lose.
I can't lose right now because I'll be so happy for all the Philadelphia area, of course. But then I'm going to Kansas City for the parade if we win.
Our first guest today in the NFL Strength and Conditioning, he's been with the Chiefs for a long, long time. So let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room a friend of the show, longtime NFL Strength and Conditioning Coach Jeff Hurd. Good morning, Jeff. And by the way, Jeff's joining us on the StreamYard, the X platform, and YouTube. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Coach.
Hey, my guys.
What's
good
up?
To be back.
Yeah, man.
baby.
Good to see you. So, Coach, the last time we had you on, we were just talking. We touched bases with you on certain things. And as soon as we got off the air, Dave goes, "You got to get Coach back on again because he's got so many stories." And I thought, since there's no football this week, like there's no game tomorrow, and everybody's talking about Super Bowls in the past and things like that. It's story time. So that's why we got you back on, because you've been in the NFL for a long, long time.
Yeah, I was blessed. I had a nice long career. Counting working training camps, I was around the NFL for 25 years. So
Were you, Coach? Were you at the beginning of strength and conditioning? Because it wasn't really a big thing, like back in the day, like in the 70s. These guys, they had to show up to training camp. That's how they got in shape. Now you got to be in shape all year round.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I was just past the starting point of it. There was a few guys that were already doing it full time, but yeah, I was kind of from the ground floor up when it became league wide. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it's changed a lot. I can remember working training camps, and I got to hang around for a couple preseason games. And the first preseason game, we're in the locker room. Halftime's like 12 minutes, and there were still like 3 guys that smoked at halftime. One of the equipment guys would have to be standing at the door with cigarettes in the fingers, so this guy could get the smoke in at halftime. It was crazy.
That's funny. That's hysterical because, back in the day, baseball players like Lenny Dykstra used to dip and smoke right before he went up the bat.
Oh, I know. 100%. Yep.
Coach, and I have to do this on the air because I want this to be – this happened in the meantime. This happened even since I saw you. So he's getting inducted to the Professional Football Performance Coaches Association Lifetime Achievement Award. You have to have 20-something plus years in and everything. He's been in the NFL for 25 years. So congratulations to you. You have to be an elite category there. So I just had to say that on air over American airwaves.
Yeah, it's an honor. I've been out since 2016, and out of sight, out of mind. I didn't think anybody even thought about me anymore. Then I got a call that I've been nominated, and then a couple weeks later, the head of the association called me and says, "Hey, you got the award." So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
congratulations on that.
Yeah, it choked me up a little bit because even though it's an old guy's award, it still addresses your body of work, that you put in. So it's an honor.
We're talking with longtime NFL strength and conditioning coach Jeff Hurd. And Jeff, you've been around these teams for a long time. You've seen a lot of players come and go. You kind of probably you took Dave under your wing. You get attached to these guys, and you wanted to see them do so well. They're almost like your kids.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially a guy like Dave. Dave was probably one of the most.
By the way, hold on. You're gonna make him cry.
I did last time. Don't do it again.
God, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. He was probably the most bright-eyed, full-hearted guy I ever got to work with. No, everything was, one speed because he was fast. Everything was fast, and he wanted it so bad. And those are the kind of guys you get attached to. The ones that have, really had to put the work in to get where they're at. And I used to hate, my least favorite day was cut day. I hated cut day. Because, you get attached to a guy, whether he's past his time or a young guy that has a future, and it's a numbers game and a business. And I hated cut day.
So, Coach, I'm sure like you've had people that really take heed of what you say, and I'm sure there are players that like, hey, that old man doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not doing that. That happens a lot, would you say?
Yeah, it can. I was blessed to be able to kind of back up what I taught. I could still do it physically, so that had I think a big impact too. Is nobody wants to be told what to do by somebody that
can't do it.
Sits on the couch and eats chips all day. So I always tried to be as physically able to demonstrate and do what I asked my players to do.
Jeff, thanks so much for joining the show. I do want to get Dave Klemick to cry. Tell me your favorite Dave Klemick memory from when you guys were together.
My favorite one probably was seeing him nose out Dante Hall on that 40-yard dash. I think that kind of grabbed everybody's eye. I mean, Coach Vermeil and myself and other people on the staff knew what was there. So it was good to see him validate his speed right there in front of everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
We're trying to get them to do something for charity and have a re-race, but they're both declining. They're worried about pulling hamstrings and twisting this. I said, well, why don't we put him in a wheelchair and like roll him down a 40-yard dash that way?
Well, I know this. I would, as a professional, I would try to get them not to race again.
Well, Coach,
for their sake.
I'm going to set this up now. So Coach is like a scientist with big muscles, right? I was telling people when we were we get up to that level, it's a science. Everything's science, and he's behind a computer a lot of times, but he could come out and beat us a lot in our own drills.
Right.
Anyway, you don't spend more time with anybody, not your position coach, not Coach Vermeil, nobody. You spend the most time with your strength and conditioning staff, right? So you get to really know those guys well. And he's has some funny stories, funnier than anybody else gets to, because it's not on the field. You're off the field, and you're here and there. You're also like our psychologist too, right? Psychiatrist, whatever. So I like to hear some of the funniest stories that you've experienced in Kansas City, actually anywhere in the league, but just some of those that come up to you.
All right, I'm going to do this now. I took a lot of pride in the trust factor. Guys trusted me, and they would come and talk to me about stuff that would be in the vault, that's still in the vault forever. But I'll tell you a couple without naming names that.
That vault's coming open. It's over. It's past the statute of limitations.
Yeah, I was going to say you're retired.
Well, I'll bring this one out the gate because I know he'd appreciate it too. But when I was an intern with Kansas City, all the full-time people got to go home, and you stayed behind. You had to clean the bubblers for the supplements, wipe the whole weight room down. So I caught wind that Joe Montana was coming in for a double secret workout. And so I go, okay, I'm going to draw this out today and hang around. Maybe I can catch a glimpse of Joe, right? So anyway, it gets to be 5:30, 6 o'clock, and nothing's going on. So I'm like, man, I'm going to go home. So I went to the locker room, which was a small locker room. It was just for the weight room. Took my shower, and I didn't even have a locker in that locker room. I had to go through the laundry room into the back of the little miniature equipment room, and I had a wooden locker back there. So I come around the corner, got my towel on, opened my locker, dropped my towel. I have no idea, but I hear this voice say, hey. And I turn around, it's Joe Montana. We're both standing there, buck naked. He's getting ready to dress for this workout. He goes, well, I guess if I sign here, you and I will have no secrets. So I'm standing, I grab my towel, put it on real quick, and he goes, hey, can you help me out? I need a pair of sweats. All they gave me was shorts and a T-shirt. I'm a little long in the tooth. I don't want them to see my legs. I grabbed a pair of sweats out of my locker and gave them to me. So
that's hysterical.
That was hilarious.
Oh.
And you know what? If he hadn't got knocked out of that AFC Championship game, there's no doubt in my mind we would have won the Super Bowl that year.
Wow.
Wow, I don't even know how to transition from
Yeah,
that. That's fantastic. That's a great story.
I
Oh,
mean, I got a couple more that are hilarious. That, players trusted you. So when we were in Jacksonville, that was a ragtag group starting out. We had guys, free agents off the streets, just so we could practice until the draft and the supplemental draft came along. So we're in the locker room, and the player programs guy comes down in the locker room, and he's after each group, and he's telling them about 401k and the importance of it. So this group gets up and runs down to his office to sign up for it. And there's one guy left sitting in the locker room. So I go over to him. I say, hey, man, I go, don't you want to take advantage of that? And he goes, Coach, I ain't running no marathon for no amount of money. Nobody's around, right? So I take the opportunity to re-explain what 401k meant. And as soon as he heard 401k, he tuned that guy out. So anyway, I explained what it was, and thanks, and he jumped up and ran down the hall. But I got a million of them.
We'll have you back.
Keep going.
You're coming back.
Keep going. We got a couple more minutes.
Jeff, I was gonna ask you about the tush push, but just keep going. Just keep going.
Keep going.
Just keep going, Jeff.
All I know about the tush push is don't always go left. Don't always go left.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. We're talking with an NFL strength and conditioning coach, Jeff Hurd, and Jeff, that was the greatest, man. Give us another one.
So I had a player that really a good, hard-working player, and he had hurt his shoulder. So guys had to come and lift first in the morning. The big guys did, at least, before their meeting started. So this guy wasn't at his lift. And anyway, I check on him. He comes running into the weight room. He goes, Coach, I had an appointment for my shoulder. I said, okay, you're good. I go, what'd they say? He goes, well, I tore my labia. And I said, what? I go, hey. So we go into my office, and I said, no. I said, you tore your labrum. And the guy goes, oh my God, thank you. I explained to him a little more anatomy than I'm doing right now. And he was so appreciative. He goes, if I had went up there and started talking about that, he goes, I never would have lived it down.
Oh man.
So you worked with Minnesota, you worked with the Chiefs, the Chargers. You got stories from all these guys. I mean, these from all the teams.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I was with the Chargers, this one just popped in my head. So the grounds guys seasonally would change directions of the practice fields as far as how they painted them. So the wear would be different, not the same all year round. So I was standing out there before practice one day, and this is the honest truth. One of the players asked one of the other players, he goes, how do they get these fields to change direction? And
I was not ready for this.
I told the guy, I said, well, you see that green lid over there on the field? I go, they take that cap off the field, and there's a little dial there. And the fields rotate. Now, granted, it was just after, I didn't say that in front of the other player, because the other player just looked at the guy and walked off. So I went and said that to the player, and he was standing there looking at me, okay. And then I said, look, dude, no. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. The grounds crew changes the striping on the field, so you're good. Everything's fine. Oh, okay, thanks, Coach. I don't have to ask.
Coach, how do you keep a straight face? I mean, you got to be breaking up. I mean,
inside, I'm dying. But you hold it together until you get away from the guy, so you don't laugh in his face.
All right, give us a story about someone that like a famous. That we're not going to ask you to name him, but another like a real famous person that you like couldn't believe this happened. If you can think of one.
Okay, here's one.
We're just gonna name this segment "Story Time with Jeff Hurd."
Oh,
yeah,
my God. He should start his own podcast. My God, you know how much money he'd make?
We told him to.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell on myself here. This one's hilarious. So when I was with the Chiefs, we had Warren Moon and Elvis Gerback were our two main quarterbacks. So as a strength conditioning coach back in the day, you also were a center. Like you snapped to all the quarterbacks in 7-on-7, all their individual drills. So they were always receiving a snap. So you had to make sure you knew what you were doing so you didn't bust somebody's finger. So it was important to be on the same page. So I was always locked in. My worst nightmare was I'm going to bust somebody's finger. So this is pregame Monday Night Football. And I always wore a pair of red sport tights, short tights, underneath my coaching slacks. And this is the last time I ever wore coaching slacks. So anyway, I'm snapping in pregame, and Warren Moon's the quarterback for this rep. So I get down in my stance. Right before I go to snap the ball, my coaching slacks rip from front to back of my waistline. So I got this big red buttock sticking out of my pants. And all of a sudden I felt Warren Moon step back out from underneath me, and he says, "Hell no." He goes, "We're going shotgun."
Oh, my gosh.
So I finished the drill and ran inside and just got a pair of sweats. From that day on, I never wore slacks again.
Coach Hurd, I got to tell you, man, this was well worth the price of admission. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard on an interview than I did with you, and we really appreciate it. What a great guest to have between the week of the Super Bowl, the hype, and all the stories. You get to watch NFL films and all the old games come on. So this is perfect. Jeff, as always, we really appreciate you, and we're going to have you back on again to continue this storytelling. It's unbelievable.
Oh, thanks for having me on, and prayers for Philly too with the plane
Yeah,
crash.
yeah.
You
Serious
guys hang
stuff.
tough now.
Yeah. You got obviously you're pulling for the Chiefs, I would imagine, next week, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling for the Chiefs, but you know what? Just as a NFL guy, it would not break my heart to see Philly and their quarterback kind of validate themselves with a Super Bowl win. Spread the love around a little bit.
All right. I love it, Jeff Hurd. Thank you so
Love
much.
you,
We
Coach.
really appreciate you, Coach. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy the Super Bowl. Nikki and I will be down at Radio Row, so you'll be able to check us out
You
down
guys
there.
have a blast, all right?
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, Dave.
Thanks, Coach.
Love you,
Coach.
I love you like a brother.
Love you.
All right, that's
Thanks,
awesome.
Coach.
There he is, Coach Hurd of the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give Chris Mooney a call in the Ocean City office, 609-399-1227. Now, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. When we return, we'll wrap up hour number one. You're listening to The Locker with Billy Schweim right here on 97.3 ESPN.